Good morning, everybody. My name is Mario Bravo. I'm the city council member for District 1 here, and I want to thank everybody for coming. This is an amazing turnout. This is the biggest turnout we've had. Typically, when we've had these events and these public events in the past, we've had them in this big room at the church. I want to thank St. Sophia for hosting all of our meetings. They have a room there that's like the size of a basketball gym. It wasn't available today, and so we took another room that was smaller. We're not going to fit in there, so thanks for accommodating us and meeting out here in the parking lot. This is obviously something that's very important to a lot of you in the community, so I'm glad that we have so many people here. I want to tell you a little bit of the history of the process. And for me personally, this started on my journey when I ran for this office, and I knocked on a lot of doors here in Tobin Hill. And when I did, and can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. We had sound systems in there, but obviously not here. When I first ran for this office, I knocked on doors all across Tobin Hill. And I heard from a lot of people about that some people would go to the bars and and they would park in their neighborhoods in front of their houses. And when they would come back, some of them would engage in disorder and disruptive activities right outside of their bedroom windows, in their front yards. And so there were concerns about that, right? And so we were asked to help address that problem. I will also go back in history for those of you who don't know me and haven't been to one of these meetings before. If you all know Candlelight on North St. Mary Strip, it used to be Carlos O'Brien's back in the 90s. Because you all have seen business on the strip go up and down over the years. In the 90s, it was booming down there, right? My dad built Carlos O'Brien's, right? My uncle managed it back then. I was in middle school. I was in 6th grade. I used to come down here when I was in high school and had a lot of fun on North St. Mary Strip. And so I know some of the history. I also know, I've also heard from some business owners that they've been concerned if things get too out of control, we could have some bad news. And if there's bad news, that could kill all the activity here, right? And so I've been trying to work with everybody to find solutions on how can, and by the way, somebody wrote an article that was published in the San Antonio Report this morning about where I live on the North St. Mary Strip. Are you here today?
Why does that matter?
It's a fantastic article. It was a fantastic article, and you guys can go and read it. And it talks about all of the great things that we love about the Strip. And it also talks about the challenges there, right? It talks about both sides. And so what we're here to do today is have a conversation with you all about how can we address the challenges while preserving all the great things about the Strip. So in the past, we've had 4 town halls, 3 stakeholder meetings, 2 open houses. And in that process, I ended up going to city staff, and I was trying to find solutions myself as the council member. And staff in the city manager's office said, that's not your job as the council member. They said, why don't you let us work on this issue and bring solutions forward, right? And I said, okay. And they said, we want to do a parking study. And so they hired an engineering firm, and the engineering firm came and they tried to study how many cars are in the neighborhoods, that are residents, and then how many come in the evenings that are, those cars belong to people who don't reside there. And we presented the results a few months ago. I think it was about 4 months ago. And it was about 400 to 500 cars, right? Now, some of that was done during Fiesta. Some of it was done not during Fiesta. At the same time, our police chief, Chief McManus, was trying to figure out how can he help provide temporary relief? How can we address this problem? And so they did an experiment of putting up barricades. Some of you all remember there were some barricades put up. And how does that change people's behavior? Where do they go and park, right? So we can have an understanding of that. And so that's something else that was done. Finally, so I started this journey recognizing the pain that some of the neighbors around here had. But I also want to acknowledge the pain that a lot of you who own bars, a lot of you who own the bars, a lot of you who manage bars, let's just get through this. We're going to focus on solutions. I'm acknowledging all sides here, right? if you own a bar, if you work there, if you're a regular patron or whatever, this has been a mess. This road, and it's taken a long time. The project has been delayed. One of the contractors got laid utilities wrong, and they had to start over. And it's and everybody's frustrated always with government projects that take too long. I have talked to the city manager. I've talked to all city staff, and I keep telling them. And Chad Carey, you here? I know you gotta be here. Chad contacts me regularly. He's the head of the North St. Mary's Business Owners Association, and he contacts me regularly, or sometimes he just tweets about it. And then I look and I say, yeah, it's a mess. My dad my dad built Carlos O'Brien's. My dad had a construction company. We were never allowed to leave construction projects that messy. We're gonna get to comments in just a minute.
Can we get water for us now?
Yeah, you know what? I will ask my staff if somebody can try and get some water. Yeah, you got it.
Get to the point. It's embarrassing, man.
So the construction project has taken too long. It's been messy, and I've been elevating that. And I've been in conversations with Chad about it. And the city manager committed starting today. They're going to be monitoring it closer, and they're going to make sure people are working there. They're going from working 5 days a week on the project to 6 days a week. Okay, and we're going to try and expedite that.
Like 2 hours at a day, or
I don't know, but we've been trying to push this. I have.
I'm sure.
So, and you know what? Honestly, I've only been in office 15 months. I've been frustrated to some extent, and I've gone to city officials and the city manager, and I've said, I'm having a hard time knowing, is this just like a regular slow government project, or are supply issues and labor shortages, are those making this take longer than normal? What's going on here? Because we need to do better. So what I'm going to do is, and I apologize, we wanted to be able to have city staff be able to do some presentations on a PowerPoint, but I'm going to let them present what the city's proposal is after they've looked at this issue.
Where's the study?
Who's up?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Martin Ruiz. I'm with the City of San Antonio's Center City Development Office. I oversee parking enforcement. Hey guys, if we could keep it civil, I'll be more than happy to work with each and every one of you and answer your questions. We're here to help. We're not here to hinder. We're looking at solutions. We're trying to work together. We're not running everything through. Let me communicate something that's coming from the city, from my leadership, from the city manager. This project will not move forward until the city manager's been briefed, and he ensures that it's a good solution, it's a good fit for the council office and supporting the council office.
We need you to yell so everyone can hear.
There was a meeting with Tate Dawson in February of this year, and in February of this year, we met with our engineer who agreed to do a study for St. Mary's. There was a meeting in March of this year with SAPD here at this location talking about the solutions and the problems that the community was facing. Tobin Hill is unique. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It abuts a commercial area that's frequented by entertainment zoned, commercial zoned properties that historically have been music venues. We understand that, we respect that. We want a solution for everyone. However, there are problems born from those businesses abutting directly residential properties that is impacting their quality of life. And this is what we're trying to address. All of us as homeowners, as residents, we want to be able to go to our home and enjoy our homes. And it's difficult to do when you can't park on your street, or if you're having problems due to the community's issues
Martin,
that are
real
driven.
quick, I think, let's just hold on for a second. I think I've been through a lot of that. I think what they want to hear is, what is the city's proposal? City staff have worked on a proposal. What is that?
Very good. What we're working on is on a temporary residential parking program, and it's going to be a little different than what we have right now. Currently, what we have is a daylight residential parking program that's designed to address incursions into a neighborhood. We do not have one for overnight use. However, this is why we're doing a pilot program. A pilot to see what works, what doesn't.
Hold on, I'm gonna step in real quick. I'm gonna step in real quick because I want to make sure you're accurate. He said we're going to do a pilot program. What? Wait, just 1 second, please.
There's not a defined timeline.
So there is not a defined timeline. I would not say that we are. Look, this is city staff is proposing a pilot program. The city manager has not approved it yet. He hasn't looked at it yet. He's not making a recommendation yet. He's going to look at it, evaluate it, and then the city manager.
Why isn't he
will
here?
bring it.
Why aren't they there?
He wasn't able to make it today. I asked him to be here.
Obviously, it wasn't important.
But he hasn't seen it yet. Once he sees it, he'll decide whether or not he recommends it to city council, and then city council can discuss it. What we're here to do today is have city staff present what they have come up with as a proposal and get your feedback on it. And so that's what we're doing. I just want to make sure we're accurate.
So,
Let's read
this is
it
the
instead
solution
of trying to listen to someone
You
with
guys
no
have got
mic.
solutions to all this? There's a stadium 2 blocks up there. You guys can rent buses on the weekend and drive all the frat boys down here so they don't fuck up people's houses and drive them
Okay.
back.
Well, I know, and we're gonna entertain. We are going to entertain all these options, sir. Could you please be civil, just to respect everybody's time? People want to know. We're gonna share. City staff is gonna share the proposal, and then we're gonna take input. We're
Everyone, so let's talk about the parking program, the pilot parking program, okay? So the pilot parking program is exactly that. Now, these streets are in residential areas. They're not designed for commercial incursions.
Wrong.
Throughout the nation, there are residential permitted parking areas. This is not uncommon in other residential neighborhoods. Having said that, this is a pilot program. Now, this program is going to be free for the residents, for the community. There will be no cost to the program. There's already existing signage in the neighborhood. This signage will be used in conjunction with new signage that we're gonna put up that says residential parking by permit only. There will be permits provided for the residential owners, the renters, and these permits will be good for 1 year for the duration of the pilot. Again, it will be at no cost to the residents. We are also working to ensure that we address all the issues to the neighborhood community, which is one of the reasons that we're having this meeting today, so we can include everyone in the conversation. Now, this pilot parking program is primarily for Chauvin Hill and the periphery area around Chauvin Hill. But again, it's for residential streets. It's not gonna impact commercial streets. It's only driven for the residential. Now, it's the Chauvin Hill Community Neighborhood Association.
What's the length of the program?
Now, I can answer some of your questions. What are some of your
What's
questions?
the
One at a
length of
time.
your program?
1 year.
Is it based on?
Why are you
Is it based on the study that you did during Fiesta that skewed all of your data?
No. This
That
is
didn't-
all
that didn't seem like a
based on
smart
the
thing to
data
do.
that we get for 1 year. What does the program show? What works? What doesn't? Has there been a decrease
you guys-
in some of the issues that are impacting the community, while at the same time has it been able to?
You guys have been saying the
Any
community.
other questions?
You guys
Where
have
do
been
our
saying the
guests
community.
park?
Y'all been saying the community the whole time, but y'all talking about only people that live on the streets. Y'all are not including the businesses, all the people that walk. This is a community. This is a big deal.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the city heard you loud and clear. The councilman heard you loud and clear. The parking division and the San Antonio Police Department have heard. We're here looking for a joint solution moving forward. This is a pilot. I'm going to stress All right, thank you so very much. I have some business cards. If anyone wants to talk to me,
Do you think this is embarrassing to be doing this out in the parking lot? Do you think so? Do you think it's embarrassing and unprepared to be doing this out in the
It goes to
parking
city
lot?
council vote on the 20th. There is a timeline.
You don't think it's embarrassing? Something this important. You don't think it's embarrassing to be having in the parking lot and shouting?
I'm not looking for sound bites. All I can tell you, sir, is right here, we're trying to accommodate everyone.
So you don't think it's embarrassing?
We're not very
Sir, no, I don't
accommodated
think.
out
You
here.
can ask me that question.
We did affordable planning.
What is the plan? Where are the 500 cars?
We're invested, which is why we're
And they're
including
just standing
everyone.
shouting at you.
Parked on the street to be here.
Yeah.
Parked on the street. Right now, how many people had to park on the street to be here for this meeting?
Where else are you supposed to go?
Fraction of the people that live on the street.
Where did you park?
Folks,
You parked. We all had to park on
the
the street.
study indicated that the recommendation was a parking program for the community. The community includes the businesses, however, is for the Golden Hill Community Neighborhood Association. All right, there's too many people talking. Is there anyone you, can someone just raise their hand, please? Yes, sir.
How does this get submitted for proposal against everybody that didn't approve it? Because you're saying it benefits the community, the neighborhood, the businesses, but this is the community, this is the neighborhood. These are the businesses, and nobody's approved this proposal. So how does it get proposed without approval of the people it's directly affecting?
Once again, it's a
Yeah.
pilot program, sir. The city manager has not been briefed on this program. This is why we've had these conversations. We had this conversation in March, and then we had it again in May, in this location right here.
No residential parking was ever discussed at any of those meetings. Hearing.
And nobody knew about those meetings.
That's a lie. That's a lie. You was there. You was there at that meeting. It was a lie. You knew there was a parking program. I was there. You're lying.
If you can let the gentleman ask his question, please. Yes, sir.
As far as questions go, I just want to note, just real quick, that a lot of people that are here for this meeting right now, because there's a lack of parking on the strip, a lot of us parked on the street to be here for the meeting today.
The residents didn't.
We walked. Well,
We all deserve to be here.
this is what it's been for 40 years. It's been a life.
They're not your streets.
It's public street.
Why did you
Why did you move here?
How long have you lived
What's the
here?
city gonna do here as far as saying if somebody has to make a decision to drive home?
So we're looking at that. We're looking at potentially engaging a conversation with the ride-share community and also see if we can find some solutions. There was some discussions about Alamo Stadium. There's other locations that could potentially be looked at for parking, so that way the community doesn't get encroached upon.
Okay, I'll hop in.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna hop in real quick. Look,
I want parking lots proposed like the Pearls.
so I just want to say what I hear today. Obviously, there are a lot of people here. We've had a lot of town halls. There are a lot of people here who haven't been in our town halls before, right? And we're gonna do more. And we're gonna create more forums that are more conductive to be able to take your feedback, right? Because this is this is not adequate. We want to create. We already have one, and I apologize to people who work in the bar industry because I want you to know. I know this was very early for you. The next meeting we're doing. The next one will be in the afternoon. We'll probably have to do more than one more after this, right? But here's the thing. I want everybody to know we're looking at this. I want you to know something real quick, right? This is city staff's proposal, right? I want you to know that our office has been looking at other opportunities. Are the Hartmans here? So I want you. Here's the deal. We're looking for other parking opportunities as well.
Like what?
So,
Which one's your biggest payout,
once
brother?
the St. Mary's strip is done, completed, there's going to be 45 parking spaces. And so what we need to do is we have to have a conversation with you all about how many of those should be ride share. Like how much does ride share make sense for drop off and pick up, and how much parking do we need? And the parking study can help inform that. And so we're looking at other options, other opportunities as well. This is not the only solution that we're looking at. This is city staff.
You haven't presented any solutions.
Well, we have. I haven't had a chance to. People keep talking. We've had it.
I watched all of your news bits since April of last year.
Okay, so one of them is the Hartmans are going to have a parking lot that's going to hold over 200 cars, right?
Yeah, when is that
One of
gonna
them
get
is
built?
St. Sophia's is exploring being able to use this parking lot as well.
50 spots.
I know we're looking at all the options. I think Chad and I have talked about it, and it's like we're going to have to do a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we're looking at to try and alleviate the problem.
Councilman, none of those included residential parking. That's not one of them.
Don, will you please introduce yourself? You've had your hand up for a while.
Sure. So
Guys, we're having a public forum. We don't have to have it in between individuals. Come on, let's have one conversation. Go ahead, Don. I'm recognizing Don. Don has the floor.
Councilman.
Pull him out!
So my name is Dawn Ann Latios, and I represent the Texas Restaurant Association. So I'm here representing the hospitality industry.
Thank you, Don.
The bars, the restaurants, and all of these employees you see back here. I want to know, was there an economic impact study done for the neighborhood? How businesses have been affected throughout? Has the economic impact study been done? How businesses, all businesses on St. Mary Street have been affected by, number one, the pandemic. Number two, the construction that is taking longer than it was supposed to. And number three, the neighborhood agreement that was, I don't know how many businesses were forced to sign that neighborhood agreement, which is wrong, but was an economic impact study done? Number one, that's my first question. Number two, the pilot program is due to go to City Council on October 20th. Is that correct?
I talked to the city manager yesterday, and
So
he
he does
hasn't
know.
approved that. And he's like, you know, I think some of this came on some of us pretty fast. All the city staff were focused on the $3.5 billion budget, right? And then staff had originally said they want to propose a council meeting on the 29th. And so we rushed, my office rushed to try and get this meeting because we didn't want anything going to council without having another conversation and people being able to see the proposal. This is clearly not a good forum to be able to share that proposal with everybody. And we're going to have more conversation and more public
Councilman, this meeting was proposed with the intention of having this item go to council on October 20th.
That's what staff proposed, yes, and I asked them to push it back, and which could be done again because I think we need to listen a lot more to all the stakeholders.
Now, in questioning of the city staff, and can you raise your hand, city staff? All city staff that's here, the three gentlemen. Was an economic impact study done for North St. Mary Street, what they've gone through during the pandemic, the construction?
This is a pilot, ma'am. The answer is no.
Have the boss say no.
Okay. It'd be great if we could get an economic impact study done before we take these steps. I mean, we're spending so much time on all these studies. I'm sure Pape Dawson, you all had to pay them a pretty penny to do this study. Let's invest in parking so that way the restaurants and the hospitality, the residents and the hospitality community can coexist.
That's the goal. That's the goal. It's so that all of this. the goal is for everybody, all of us to be able to coexist, and you know, and we welcome your ideas. If you guys have other ideas, and you know, we're gonna have our next forum that we have for this is October 8th at the San Antonio College Victory Center at 2 o'clock. We'll look for other opportunities to be able to do this in a big space where we can be able to project things on a projector, where we have a microphone, and we'll continue to listen.
Will the city post the proposal online before the meeting?
I highly doubt that. Yes.
Thank you.
We will get that up as soon as possible.
Will you guys share the study? The
Study.
parking study?
That's what he's talking about. Yes. Yes. Go. And I believe the parking study has been
No, I emailed your
shared,
office
but
and they didn't have it.
okay. Well, we'll make sure that we get it out. Go ahead, sir. You've been standing there with your hand up.
It doesn't seem an accurate estimate if it's during construction.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh,
What's your name?
my name is Cesar Rivera.
All right, Cesar Rivera has the floor.
I have lived here since I was a child.
Can you speak up, please, for everybody?
Give him the megaphone.
Cesar.
That megaphone at.
Thank you.
I have lived here since I was a child, 7, 8 years old. My grandmother bought the house that I now own. I've been here for a very long time. I used to work at what used to be the White Rabbit, which is now the Paper Tiger. I have seen construction. I have seen St. Mary Street go up, go down because of crime, because of graffiti, because of many things. I have seen all kinds of construction. Our streets are really bad on the streets where houses are. The street on St. Mary's is bad. I agree. I think that there should be some kind of parking garage or something for people to use. But I also agree that there should be restrictions on parking at night. My parents are elderly. There was one night my parents had to go to the hospital all of a sudden, and it's very difficult to get out of the street, get out of the parking lot because of all the cars that are on the street, especially when they park in front of your driveway. Now, we don't have the luxury of having security to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. We don't have the luxury of calling someone right away to come tow their vehicle. We call SAPD, they come out, they inspect, and sometimes, depending on the situation, they may not even tow the vehicle. So we have a lot of challenges on a residential street. Having worked in construction, I understand the safety measures that need to be taken, and probably part of the reason that it's taking so long for this to get fixed. There are a lot of factors in this, but there needs to be something done for the people who live on these streets, who actually have homes here. There are a lot of elderly people here. I don't know even if a fire truck or an ambulance can get down that street when you have two cars on either side of the street. It's very challenging. Okay, hold on. So, you know, there's a lot going on, and there are some solutions here that can start to work. But yes, we all need to work together. I understand what it's like to be in a bar that's empty and you're not making any money, you're not putting any cash in your pocket because you're relying on those tips. I get it. But also, I get the fact that it's very difficult to live on these streets, to have a property on these streets and try to navigate around. My parents won't leave at night because of the situation. So they're prisoners in their own house because they can't get in and out. That's not fair. Okay? So instead of yelling at each other and all these stupid little sound bites, take a moment to listen. Take a moment to think about what you're trying to say. Find an advocate for yourself and have them voice your concerns. Yes, I know people are angry. We are frustrated as well. We live here. We live here all day long. We don't drive in, spend a few hours here, 8 hours, 9 hours, and then go somewhere else. We are here 24/7, and it's a real challenge. Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue to have civil discourse. It's great that we can all hear him. We're going to go back and forth. I want people to raise your hand if you don't want any kind of residential permit parking, because we're going to go back and forth. We're going to let somebody speak who wants it and then somebody who doesn't. Go ahead.
And I'm also a resident that's been living here for the last.
Aaron, go ahead.
Please, may I? Guys, good morning, everybody. My name is Aaron Pena.
Okay, guys, one at a time, please.
My name is Aaron Pena. I'm a District 1 business owner, voter, resident. I've been here for 7 years on the North St. Mary's Strip. I've seen the pandemic. I've seen all of the construction. And actually, can you hear me like this?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, so we've been through a lot together. We've always been in the spirit of working with our neighbors and working in good faith. I've got great relationships with my neighbors. They know that. I don't feel this is a constructive forum for us to get anything done. And I'm on the side of opposing, strongly opposing, but my conflict comes with the manner in which this was proposed. This landed on my desk and probably all of y'all's via email 1 week ago. Raise your hand, please, if you got a notice about this 1 week ago. So, with that timeline, a week later, we're having this town hall. A week after that, all of a sudden, it's going to council vote. Tell me that's not deceitful and sneaky. We had no say in this. You had no say in this. So let's not villainize each other and point fingers. Residents, bar owners, we are neighbors, we are part of the community, and we're here to serve and protect it. I don't agree with all of this forum at all. Just like, yo, I feel that's a waste of time. That's why if you're interested in having any discourse about this, we're doing coffee and tacos and squeeze box after that. I want to talk to my neighbors. I want to speak to the community. And I want to offer real solutions that aren't as performative as this bullshit.
Can I get somebody to raise your hand if you are for the residential parking proposal? No, just we're gonna go back and forth too. Somebody who wants to speak.
I have a legit question. I'm here with St. Sophia, so welcome to our home.
Thank you.
And my question is, every single person out here has an opinion,
Yes,
right?
they do.
What opportunity, what forum do they have other than this? Or even in a big room where there's 300 people, not all 300 voices can get heard. What opportunity, do you have a website, do you have a suggestion box that they can all write it down and then somebody vet it?
Yes, you can, we do have a website. If you look up City Council District 1 for San Antonio, you can email us. We'll send out a survey and we'll circulate it among everybody. And we're gonna have more of these forums. But we'll make sure that we do more listening.
Specific landing spot where she's saying.
Yeah.
Instead of just a
Just a
general.
QR code. I walk
Sure.
up, I have an opinion and it's X, and I have a suggestion.
We'll have a QR code in the next one. We use QR codes for other things, and we'll have a QR code that we'll bring in the next
Everybody
one.
to be able to
So,
voice their
okay,
opinion. Thank you.
somebody who wants to speak about, go ahead, sir. Come on up.
Hey there.
Hi.
I really like your point. It got me thinking about...
Can you speak up?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll try to speak up so everyone can hear. I really like your point of view and what it brought to the table. So I just wanted to, kind of break it down. So say, this does happen. You have people getting, permits and stuff. Your issue was, you call SAPD and they wouldn't come and tow, right? So what is, stopping someone from still parking in front of your place without, a permit? You call up SAPD, it's still the same,
Excuse me, may I interject? Sir, could you loan your bullhorn to this gentleman?
Oh, sorry about that.
It also doesn't happen during the day. It happens at night.
Well, all right, then during night, how do you, what's the speak into it? I'm just wondering what is the difference in that other than you paying money for a permit? It just seems like it will be the same thing happening if someone were to park there, I think that's not being thought about. That's all I have.
Hi, my name is Linda, and I do live in the neighborhood. I've been here for over 45 years. My dad has been living here for over 60 years. So I've seen the strip, like you mentioned, go up, go down. 16, I was over there at Wackies partying myself, okay? I understand what you guys are going through, the businesses. And you know what? I do feel some sympathy towards you, but you also have to understand that these are our streets, Chad.
They're not.
They are our streets. We've been living here for over so many years. And yes, it is. I'm sorry, excuse me. We live here, and we have to put up with the traffic. We don't leave our houses when we come home from obstruction. It's people parking on a no parking tollway street. And if we get the parking permit, I'm hoping maybe that police will go ahead and start observing these other streets that do have the no parking tags.
Okay, so
I'd like to piggyback off that real quick. We are not trying to villainize the police. They have their own issues with trying to accommodate all of us. And I do appreciate what the police do for us in this community. So, but there are certain situations that they cannot tow. And I understand that because they explained it to me one day when I did call to get someone towed. The other problem is that people will park in front of safety issues like the fire hydrants. That's a huge safety issue. Another safety issue is people urinating in the streets, in our yards, throwing trash in our yards also. Those are real health concerns, and those need to be addressed as well. Thank you.
okay, so we're going back and forth. I want to hear from somebody. Well, yeah. Well, are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask my
against?
question.
Are you
So,
against the proposal?
I'm gonna actually say something about the parking. So, I'm a longtime homeless advocate, okay? I have been pushing for overnight parking for like, I don't know how many years, before his time on council, okay? I've been pushing and pushing and pushing for overnight parking programs to handle this man's problems that you just stated that everybody's facing. I've been pushing for the longest hell of a time for overnight parking program, okay? I finally asked the mayor's office, 2018-19, whatever, and they weren't working closely with me. They made me believe that, yes, they're gonna have an overnight parking program, great. Even the mayor himself said it, yes, we're underway, yes, awesome. He himself is telling you currently, we got this pilot program that's not gonna fly away, okay? So guess what? Melody Woosley with the Department of Human Services actually admitted on TPR radio station that zoning commission killed any kind of parking program. So why are you lying to all these people that there's an overnight parking program when Melody Woosley herself with DHS said that the zoning killed it?
That's great information to share with me. But I will say, let me ask.
There is no
city
Melody
staff.
with DHS
City
killed
staff
it.
is presenting this, so
Let
let's let them answer.
She killed it.
It's city staff proposal. Let me let them answer.
Zoning commission killed it.
Folks,
Per
this
Melody
has
Woosley with
nothing to
DHS.
do with zoning as much as it has to do with the use of the streets. It's the streets, it is not properties. Properties have their individual zoning. To that, you have a point. To the streets, no. This is a community pilot program, which is why we're looking at everything. Let me say that the study recommended a parking program. They looked at everything. They were here with SAPD. SAPD put barricades. They looked at the traffic with the barricades. They look at the traffic with the construction, and then they look at the traffic absent the barricades. They did a vehicle count. And this, sir, please let me finish. And the study recommended this parking program.
Who paid for the study?
It's a pilot
Who
program.
paid for the study?
I have said time and again that this is a Pate Dawson study. It was paid for by the parking division. The city of San Antonio's parking division paid for the study. Any other questions about the parking program, the overnight parking program?
All right, so everybody, let's go back to civilly taking turns back and forth. It's a turn for people who are against. Just a moment, you had your time. So the people turn to the people who are against the parking proposal. Raise your hand if you're against the parking proposal, and we'll let you. Chad. So Chad is the president of the North St. Mary's Business Owners Association, and we've been in conversation about this. Go ahead, Chad.
Thank you all for coming out, including the people in this neighborhood who disagree with me, who don't like me, who have a different opinion. The point that I would say at this level as Aaron said, it's a process issue. This was sprung on us in a way that doesn't make any sense. The published timeline that was put out there was never anything resembling a specific or a detailed proposal about what residential parking permit only would look like. Fundamentally, I think there's a lot of other people that would, I've had plenty of time to flatten my gums about this, and I'll have a lot more. I'd like to give other people an opportunity to talk. The one thing that I will not be persuaded against is there is no such thing as a residential street in a mixed-use neighborhood. These streets belong to every single person, including residents who live here, including the residents who live here who have very significant concerns. But there is no such thing as a residential street. These streets belong to everyone. We should all be able to use them. I'm still very hopeful that we can find a way to come with a collaborative process that will work for everybody. But I think that what you see right now is the result of good faith evaporating, a lack of trust on this process evaporating. That's where we are today. Thank everybody for being here.
Okay. Thank you, Chad. Somebody who wants to speak in favor of the proposal, raise your hands.
I just have a comment.
Go ahead. Okay. All right, and we have one right now.
Good morning, everyone. I am a resident. I don't care how long I've been here. I just want you to hear my concerns. And I've always said, how would people, I'm a patron. I go to, not White Rabbit anymore, but I love live music, Lonesome Rose. For 6 years, I was a community volunteer DJ at KSYM. Okay, I support live music, stands for overjoyed. But what's happening on our streets is a safety issue. Okay, I don't have elderly parents living with me, but at night, on the weekends, I fear for my safety because I hear gunshots every weekend. And not every weekend. Yes.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Hey, there, I do have gunshots. You need to know seriously, and that's a real concern. Hey, but gunshots every weekend. Yes, gunshots do happen. You don't live here. You don't live here. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Last night at 217, there were 6 gunshots.
No, I was here last night.
What street?
This street.
I live on South every day. Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
We're not used to it.
Well, let's just let her finish. Let's just let her finish. Let her finish, and then we'll go to someone else.
Please show me the respect to listen. Okay, I'm a teacher. I teach 3- and 4-year-olds, maybe some of your children, and I teach them to listen. Right?
Nobody's listening to us.
I'm not saying I'm not listening to you, but please afford me this opportunity. Last night at 217, the police came to the Terry Court Park, got out their flashlights. It happens. Why would I lie about that? So I live in a wood frame house, and I'm afraid bullets are gonna come through my house. Does it happen? That shit happens. That shit happens in every neighborhood, but it happens at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m., 2:15, when the bars get out. That's that hour. That believe me. So I fear for my safety. I fear for my neighbor's safety. I fear anyone who has to live with guns and violence. I fear for their safety. I'm empathetic. I'm asking you to be empathetic. When you come and park, I'm asking you not to dump your trash. I'm not saying it's you. Whoever is parking in our neighborhoods, your patrons, are dumping literally their trash, their condoms, their legs.
You can't have abortion.
That's right. Just give me 1 more minute. I just wanted you to hear me. Please. People are fornicating, and having sex, fucking, whatever you want to call it, in our yards. People are defecating in our yards. People are passed out in our yards.
People could do that without parking in front of your house.
Yeah, it's all the patrons. I just want them to respect my neighbor. So I'm like, would I come to your neighborhood and do that to you? No, I wouldn't. Thank you.
All right, can we hear from somebody who's against the proposal?
I'm a property owner and I have rental properties. My concern is about my renters. They only have street side parking. That's all they have. My concern is what happens if they have a party and they only have street side parking. That's all they have. They already pay a high price to rent in this neighborhood.
Martin, can you answer this?
My family moved in this neighborhood in 1964. So we only have street side parking.
It's an apartment with only street side parking. What would they do under this proposal?
We're looking at all things. I can describe our current process. The program that's in place does not extend to multifamily properties. There's not enough capacity in the streets. However, moving forward, we're looking at everything. So to your question, multifamily properties are not subject because multifamily properties by definition, usually, unless you're a significantly established multifamily property, have their own parking ground.
Not in this neighborhood.
So your renters would say that.
Multifamily properties would not be part of the pilot program unless, we have a conversation and, in conjunction with Public Works, see if there's enough capacity.
What about employee parking? My next question is this: I did not sign up for an HOA. My family moved into this neighborhood in 1954 because we've been having the right to pursue happiness. We did not want to pay an HOA. So we already pay our property taxes. We already pay for our streets to be maintained. So we do not want to pay for a permit to be on our streets. And we don't care if it's going to be provided for us. My husband already says, well, if they're going to give me a permit, subtract all the weekends off in a year and pay me back my money.
So let me talk about homeowner association. You're right. You're not part of a homeowners association, but you're part of a larger group of a community neighborhood association. The neighborhood has come together.
Yes, we know, and that's part of socialism. We all pay property taxes to maintain our
Neighborhood
streets.
associations, ma'am, they have a mutual goal and desire of working together for the residents.
Yes, sir. It's
So
called
there's
property
homeowners
taxes.
associations, and then there's neighborhood associations. And
Yes.
there's a neighborhood association here.
And we call property taxes, and we pay a very high price for that. I'm
I
paying
saw-
over $4,000 a property for that.
Thank you, ma'am. I saw State Representative Diego Bernal raising his hand.
And I have one more,
Here.
I have another question. Where do we get this 47 cars that was added to the construction? Because one big truck, a King Ranch truck, could add up to 2 cars or 3 Fiats. And where do we get that? Where do we get that accounting? And a science study. When a scientist does a study, they always have a controlled group, and they account for unexpected accounting. So how can you account for that?
Okay, so what would you do?
Explain to me like a 5-year-old.
Ma'am, you're
I just
asking
want to
multiple
know. I
questions.
want to know. But I just want to
One
know.
second, please.
Explain
Explain
it.
Please,
Explain it.
ma'am, we're talking
I'm very
over one
upset
another.
because you only give me 2 letters. 2 letters in this whole year. 1 letter to do a survey. Oh, how would you like to do your neighborhood? And then a letter for this meeting. And I'm a property owner, and I own 2 properties in this neighborhood. And that's the only 2 letters I got. And I'm very upset about it.
So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to turn this over to State Representative Jacob Bernal. I'm going to let him speak, and then we're going to ask the city staff, David Macbeth, who oversees the construction project here, to be able to tell you about what the state of the construction project, because that will allow him to address maybe how many parking spots might be available when that's done, but also answer any of your questions about project delays and when it's going to we anticipate it to be done. So go ahead. Representative Bernal, the floor is yours.
All right. All right. You guys hear me out. All right? Hear me out. First, if you guys want to know what my position is generally, I think government restricting access to public space is always a bad idea. It's a slippery slope, and once we start doing it, it's going to take places, it's going to happen in places that we don't like. Amen. So that's that. That being said, we have to acknowledge that for some people who live here, they experience it a certain way. And arguing with them doesn't get us anywhere. If it's true for them, it's true for them. Even if you don't like it, it is. So accept that. That it's a certain way for certain people, and they don't like it, it makes it uncomfortable, they've seen it change. Just accept that for what it is and start there. I do think we have a process problem, because there is an issue with notice, there is an issue with council votes that could happen very quickly, that would catch people off guard. That's not, we don't want to do things that way. The other thing is, if this is a proposal, and the city's working on several other ways of dealing with this problem or this issue, why don't we wait until all of those are fleshed out, they're all brought to the table, and then we can figure out, if any, which one works best for both. Because here's what I'm really afraid of. What I'm really afraid of is that we're drawing a line in the sand, and it's this group versus that group. And I really believe we're better than that. I really do.
Because usually they have an agenda, no matter what.
Whatever it is, I'm a politician.
It's always blanketed, it's always under
Who do we argue with then?
Argue with me for
I
right
don't need to
now.
wait for a politician's input. We're literally giving our solution.
Right, and what I'm saying is, you're right, you're giving your solutions. So, we've got the parking pilot, let's not do that shit right now. Right? They say they're working on other parking solutions. I do think an economic study is important, because look, if you're a business owner on the strip, putting aside some of the issues, if you're a business owner on the strip and you've got a new noise ordinance, you've got construction, and this, I don't think it's far-fetched to wonder if you're gonna survive. And so the point is, if we can agree, look, if you want the strip to go away, then you're over here, and that's just what it is. But if we can all agree that we want some sort of harmony, some sort of equilibrium, some sort of coexistence, then let's make that the center. Go back, come up with a variety of solutions or proposals, bring them all back together, and have a talk about that. But raising our hands about who's for and against a pilot program where we have no idea how it's going to work, where it's going to be, who it's going to affect. There are other proposals on the table, but we haven't seen them yet. Let's wait. Let's wait, get them all together, and have a conversation about us coexisting. Because if we keep this up, it is going to be an us versus them in a way that I think is unhealthy, that we will not be able to come back from.
Who has the power to say no pilot? Who's them? Who's us?
I think that, okay, look, I'm a state rep, I don't have control of the city, right? But I do think that the councilman, his office, the mayor, the city council can say, hey, let's pause, let's get a menu of potential solutions, options, put them all together, and then we have a well-organized, inside, air-conditioned conversation about those things. And by the way, last thing I'll say is this. About 2 or 3 months ago, and those of you who were at the Neighborhood Association event might remember, I got annihilated. I got destroyed for working with the bars to implement some new policies, right? No more dollar wells, sorry. Last call at 1:30. No more events for people under 21. And since that time, things have actually calmed down. So let's also give that shit a chance to work before we jump to the next thing. So let's just agree that we get all of our solutions or proposed solutions together. Everything gets put on pause. We flesh them out. We're ready to talk about them. City staff, SAPD, city council. and then we convene with enough notice and nothing on the city council agenda in front of us, and have a sober, light, air-conditioned conversation about that.
I will ensure that that happens. I will ensure that that happens.
Commitment to not bring anything up in October.
Bernal. So,
Yes.
I think that we have
I'll commit that we won't bring anything up in October. I think this conversation needs to continue, and we have been looking at all solutions. Today was the city staff was ready to present their proposal, and this was a chance for them to propose that and get your input. That's what we're doing. We're going to continue to look at all the solutions. We're going to continue to get input from you all. I'm going to ask David Macbeth from the city to come up here and talk about the construction project.
One second here. I want to jump on something that Representative Bernal. I just want to jump on something for a second here that keeps getting overlooked, and you mentioned it, the economic impact of it. I think we have a great opportunity here, since we all agree that that's something that needs to be done. Can we get you to guarantee to the people here that
I guarantee I will ask the city manager to do it.
How gets to make that decision? He has to ask people. That's how politics work.
Yeah.
So no for right now.
I'm not the city dictator. I don't get to make that call. I get to go to city staff and ask. It costs money, and I have to get them to agree to it.
Y'all spend money on the engineers and the parking and all this other stuff. Right? So you agree that's something that's probably necessary.
I agree that it's very important. I appreciate the proposal, and I will advocate for it.
Is
That's
there
what I
anywhere
commit to.
that we can
So,
find how much the parking study costs?
can you tell us how much the parking study was?
That would be
Is that public information?
Okay, so everybody, this is David Macbeth. He's involved with the construction project, and I'm going to give him the floor.
Thank you, Councilman. Good morning, everyone. My name is David Macbeth. I'm Assistant City Engineer with Public Works, and we are managing the project that's on North St. Mary's right now. I know you all have been experiencing that for a while. 3 years. Let me try to give you information. This is a 2017 bond project that was approved by the voters. We started construction in the spring of 2021. Right now, we are working towards a completion date of next summer. There's been some additional work.
Next summer?
Yes.
Not really.
The additional work has been added to the project. And
Let us speak.
please. Let me explain, please.
Hey, take it
There's
down
a lot of
a
work.
notch.
This is a very tight corridor, as you know. But what we're doing, we're replacing all the underground utilities, the water, the sewer, the gas. We are including some pedestrian lighting that's going to be adding to the safety of St. Mary's. We're adding trees to the corridor. We've got some additional money that we're adding trees and some amenities, trash cans, landscaping.
Great, can we find that
So
in writing?
there is, I'm sorry?
Can we find that in writing?
There was actually a public meeting over that
Yeah,
recently.
there's been public meetings about this project multiple
Yeah,
times.
thank you.
But let me just say this.
public enough.
We're in the middle of construction. We are gonna have another, either open house or a public meeting to talk about specific issues. We'll show you the plan again, so you can see the results of what the initial plan looks like. It's gonna have, 2 lanes of traffic. We're repurposing the lanes so that we have parking on one side. We are gonna have bike lanes and the 2 lanes of traffic. Wider sidewalks, the trees, the landscaping, the pedestrian lighting, so we're gonna have a really transformational look to North St. Mary's once it's done.
Different than making public businesses are going to be taken down.
So,
David, can you tell us why it's taking so long?
yeah,
What are the reasons for delays?
sure. Well, number one, it's a very tight corridor. We're replacing all, like I said, all the water, the sewer, the gas. There are material delays. There are some delays with staffing. People are having difficulty hiring.
on it?
And so our contractor, Spa Glass, has been working to try to resolve those issues. We actually had to remove a subcontractor on some of the utility work that was not performing. We brought in a new subcontractor to do the water and sewer, and they're doing a much better job, got a lot better productivity. And so we are trying to look for ways to advance that. The contractor is working 6 days a week now to try to get some of this work done. So we are looking at alternatives to try to expedite the construction. So with that, we are going to have a public meeting to try to give a little more thorough update than just yelling in a parking lot. So stay tuned for that.
There's nothing wrong with yelling in a parking lot.
And also, Andy Denham is our capital projects officer. She is your liaison with the city public works department.
I'm new to this project, but I definitely see the concerns out here. I'm looking you all in the eyes to let you know that I am working on this and I'm here to advocate for you.
Needs to be faster.
Yes, sir, I agree. But also, I'm here to advocate for you.
Once again, I'm gonna be off to the side. If you have any type of questions or updates, please come find me because once again, I'm your advocate. Okay, so
Andy
make
and I
sure
will
you
take
don't.
that a little bit afterwards.
And I'm gonna ask, is there gonna be an allocation to the businesses for the lost business that they've had?
There's not. We need it.
Because
We're
they've
not allowed
done
to use
that.
bond money for that.
Well, not necessarily bond, but like the construction that went on Blanco and Isabella, there was some money set aside specifically for the construction
I know there's some
taking place on
discussion
those
about that with economic
something.
development.
Okay, Councilman, perhaps you can
Lot of
get that
discussion.
allocation to
Yeah,
businesses.
so we did. We got an amendment that I pushed for, and I got Councilman Manny Pelaez to help me on. We initially asked for $1 million for a fund for small businesses who are adversely impacted by the municipal construction projects. It got cut down. We got $400,000 through the budget about a week ago.
But specifically for North St. Mary's Street.
It's for anybody any small business that's adversely impacted by municipal construction
What is
projects.
the budget, Councilman?
It's a lot. It's 3.5 billion. Yeah.
No, for the construction.
Oh, $400,000 is what we got in as an amendment at the last minute that we pushed through.
Just a thought, you're talking about parking. If they got rid of the bike lane and put in parking, that'd be a lot of parking all the way down St. Mary's.
Well,
And it was like that years ago.
It's like design anymore. Take away the bike lane.
We went through a thorough public process during the design, and that's the solution that everybody agreed on.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
All right.
Questions on the construction project?
Yeah, another one.
This gentleman right here had his hand up.
Not specifically.
No? Questions on the construction project?
Yeah, how come
Get it
your
done.
boots are so
Get it
clean?
done.
Why are your boots so clean if you're working so hard to get it done?
Oh, come on.
This gentleman right here has a question.
Put us through all of us.
Community members, residents, this meeting's over. Join us in the squeeze box to discuss real solutions. Free coffee, free tacos, let's talk.
Good. So, I don't think you're gonna go. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up real quick. I agree with a lot of what Representative Diego Bernal said. We're gonna continue to look at solutions. I want you to
wrap it up. Why don't you apologize for your behavior?
So in addition to that, let me wrap this up. In addition to that, so there's a gentleman who used to work to promote live music in the city of Austin, right? And he goes by the name of the Noise Whisperer. And what he focuses on is how do you get communities that live near nightclubs to be able to work together, but also how do you promote the live music industry? And so I approached him and I said, hey, we have these challenges that are coming at us for the live music industry, but let's not just work on those challenges, let's also look at how can we actually promote live music in our community. And he said, you know what, we have a study that we do for cities to work on that. And so I've approached the city, and just like, I don't have a guarantee yet, but just like I'm gonna ask for this economic impact study, I've also gone to the city and I've said, can we do a study to look at how can we actually make things better for the live music industry so it can really thrive here. And so we're looking at all of these solutions. Our next meeting to have public input is on October 8th at the San Antonio Community College Victory Center at 2 o'clock. We're going to add more meetings and we'll send out a survey.